Pew pew.
Hey guys, it's Lana. So I've been wanting to get back into YouTube, and I kind of wanted to start off by doing rants or my opinions on things. So I wanted to start the first video off with something I feel like I kind of wanted to get off my chest about how I feel about a certain topic. To me, this is one of the darkest topics that I can think of to date. And what makes it the darkest to me is that nobody really talks about it. So I wanted to bring it to light to you guys today.
How I view it is that what makes it even worse than a lot of more prominent issues is that society completely looks over and treats it as part of its culture without question. Even worse than that, it's romanticized to oblivion to the point where its actual meaning is completely lost in translation. People now use it as a means to escape their own personal issues while completely forgetting its actual intended beauty and purpose. So, what I really want to put into perspective here with this video is that overall, no one has any actual idea the kind of damage they're inflicting upon themselves by skewing it. But when viewed from another perspective, it's one of the most heartbreaking things to witness. Alright, so where do I begin? The concept of love. It's completely taken over everything from our media, like our music, movies, games, like even our holidays and our social lives. So things like Disney made us believe that the ultimate happiness is finding quote-unquote Prince Charming, and most songs you hear on the radio speak of breakups or hooking up with the person you like. The perpetuation of the topic is literally inescapable. Unless you live under a rock, there's absolutely no way you can't be tainted by the world's perception of it. So, a big problem here is that from birth, you're thrown into a world that already makes it really hard for you to like yourself, because everyone else's issues and turmoil makes them neglect or mistreat others around them. So from the start, it's already hard for you to find yourself because of the heavy weight you have to endure from everyone else around you, coupled with the fact that in a lot of cases, people already try to put you into a certain mold before you can even decide what you want for yourself. Hopefully times have changed for the better, but in my school, it was taught as be nice to others because you don't want that to happen to you, instead of it being a showcase of how to use your empathy, which is really messed up. So, when one of the first things you're taught that is valuable is getting married for religious values, and that having a girlfriend or boyfriend is fun and desirable, you're kind of made to feel like you're not supposed to focus on your own problems, and self-love and happiness comes from indulgent external sources. Alright, so let's see. If a person can't find it within themselves to love themselves or appreciate themselves, what are they gonna go to? Money, sex, and of course, seeking like any sort of relationship, right? Anything to fill the void. But what a lot of people fail to see is that viewing romance as a means to fill the emptiness you feel from your boring life is playing an extremely dangerous game with yourself. So you'll then start to actively seek and force relationships before an actual bond is even made, because it's the socially acceptable thing to do. Because you're lonely, you'll go to bars, try to meet people, use dating apps, do trial and error. There are some people that'll even put their entire self-esteem on the line if the person they're trying to court with is interested in them, and rebound to another immediately if plans fall through. Does that sound healthy to you? And what's even worse is that when this supposed relationship that you created happens from a person that you just started dating 2 weeks into knowing them, they'll immediately enforce dating rules, like you're automatically supposed to want to halt sex with other people and put their problems above all else even though you've just met them. That makes absolutely no sense. There's no way you can truly want to do those things for someone you just met. Even worse, self-imposing and focusing on those guidelines at the start of a bond will just make you lose sight of the bond itself. So you'll end up having fights about those issues instead of focusing on the issues that actually matter. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for being faithful and caring about my significant other's problems, but lying yourself and saying that can possibly matter to you as soon as you meet the person makes no sense. People create labels for bonds like relationship or girlfriend, boyfriend. The thing is, when you really sit down and think about it, it kind of devalues the entire point if you give it a label like that off the bat. How a real relationship forms is knowing someone over time and getting really close to the person, creating a best friend kind of bond. The relationship itself should not be the first thing on your mind when meeting someone you like. It should be a consideration after a lot of meaningful time with that person. It's specifically only in that kind of bond where you would personally want to put their problems above all else naturally. If your significant other isn't like a best friend to you, then you shouldn't be with that person. And you need to make sure that they are, instead of just feeling like there's potential. Feeling like there's potential would just defeat the purpose. They literally need to be your absolute best friend before you decide that you should form a relationship with the person. Considering a relationship as an object to obtain is really poisonous for the world because it makes people forget the idea of focusing on themselves and the concept of self-love, which is already hard to obtain with how everything is right now. It also basically stops us from ever actually having the correct kind of relationships because we have a different perception of what it's supposed to be to begin with. So we don't even know what to look for. So to finish this rant off, it's really sad and dark when you think about how the way our society works to stop us from the very thing that would actually save us. One reason I can logic out as to why people view having a relationship in such a light is probably because everyone is looking for a quick reward system because they don't know what to look for in a life where you're not even allowed to be yourself. Sometimes it's hard to see outside the box when you're so stuck in everyone else's perspective in life that's so set in stone. So for me personally, sometimes it's good to take a step back from your everyday routine and give some thought that not everything that is told to you about how life should be necessarily needs to be that way.
Hey, let me know if you guys like this video, and please comment what you think, and if you want other rants. I have tons of other things that I'd also like to do and talk about. So yeah, let me know what you all think. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye.